Hi and welcome. I see we have a few people already here. My name is JP and welcome to our webinar on how you can set up your shop in no time using one of the starter templates in Brizy Shops for Brizy Cloud. I see we have two people reporting in, Rito from Switzerland, and then we have Helga from Germany, and then all on the other side of the world. Archie just said hi from Chicago. There's Kimberly also from Chicago. Great to see everybody from around the world. Today is the 31st of July 2025, and so we come to an end already. It is just crazy to think that we're already entering August by tomorrow. For those of you at the nighttime, like me, thank you very much for joining. And for those of you just waking up, I hope you have a great day ahead. I'm here in the cold southern winelands at Stellenbosch, all down here in southern Africa. And it's a cold, cold day. So I've heat up the room here so I don't completely freeze myself to death here. But because of that, I've got cats and dogs here. So if you see some small interruptions during the webinar, just be aware that they are appreciating the heat here. Scott from Indianapolis, good morning to you. Then Judy from Seattle. There's David, and he's from Toronto. And then Orange County, we have Cinda. It's frozen. No, it's not frozen. Luckily, where I am, we don't get that cold, but relatively, what was it today? Maximum 11, and it's going to be 7 tonight for us. That is freezing cold, right? Shasta County, Cheryl, Brian, Cheryl Divine, or Divine, yes. And then we have Freddie from Las Vegas. So quite a number of people from the US. Very welcome here. Just again, my name is JP. And as always, before you forget, and this is the number one question I think every webinar gets in the world, this is being recorded and it will be sent to you after this webinar is over so that you can rewatch it a million times, or if you miss something, or if you want to share it. Before we also jump into today's webinar, there is also something else, and I'll run it a few times, but you'll also get that in the newsletter, is that the product that we are showcasing tonight, which is Brizy Shops, is being run at a special at the moment. If you haven't tried it yet, you can also go and try it on a trial. There is a trial version. We'll quickly touch on that during this webinar. You don't have to spend your money yet. First, see if this is the kind of thing to you, and maybe you are not ready yet to set up your shop. But yes, it is there in the pipeline for maybe what you have in mind. And Valentin from Bulgaria. Great. So small little group. I love the small groups. You are more than welcome to ask questions. Put it there in the chat room. We have some of our folk over at Brizy also there. If they can answer your question, they will answer your question. If we don't have time at the end of this webinar for all the questions, we will get back to you. And I will also just mention to you that on our website, we have an F&Q section that tries to cover everything that I'm going to show you tonight. But if there are any questions that you bring up here that we think everyone should know, we'll add it there as well. Right, so let's look at core. Let me see. I don't have my glasses on. You see, with my age, I should actually start wearing them. I think it's Darius from Memphis, and then from New Mexico, we have Akai or Acacia. No, Akai. I think that's the one. Sorry for my mispronunciation. For me, it's late. I'm an early bird. You know, some people work late at night, go to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning. That's when I wake up. So you can imagine, you know, the different time zones. Right. So let's quickly talk about tonight. What is it all about? It's all about Brizy Shops. And this is, I don't want to say jam-packed because it's impossible to put everything in here that I can show you with Brizy Shops. So the purpose of this webinar is to show you how you can go from nothing to something absolutely spectacular in just a few clicks and just a few minutes and get a shop ready. And this is especially great if you are working with clients, if you are an agency and you want to show them very quickly how you can get their products online and get that e-commerce store for them ready to roll out. They will absolutely be amazed. There's a lot going on here. I'm definitely not going to be able to touch everything. That's why you have to check out our YouTube channel. There's a lot going on there. And you also have to subscribe there and check for more webinars that will come that will deep dive into more of this and help you to understand the full experience of Brizy Shops. And before I start, there are also people who have no idea what Brizy is. So Brizy Cloud is a platform in which you can create websites, and all those links will be sent to you. If you've never heard of Brizy, tonight you're going to see what Brizy is all about. So yes, this is being recorded. Yes, there is a special that is running, and I'll quickly run that banner just again for you, but don't worry, you're not going to miss out on that. And then if you have comments, you can put them in the questions there as we go through it. We'll try and answer that at the end, but if we miss out on that, we'll send it to you later after this. But you can also check out the FNQ. Right, I'm going to remove my face at this point, and let's jump into what we can look at. I think before we start, I want to quickly give you an overview of what the Brizy shop, what it can do for your website. And this is a starter template that comes loaded with the Brizy shops, and these just need to quickly propagate there. And this is a shop set up, ready to go, and I've installed it with a one-click installation. This is my landing page. You can see there are a number of pages at the top, and then you have this section here showcasing your products. You can go to your shop area, which will give you your all products, your archive, and your categories. And this is all done with the Brizy Builder. So we will distinguish between the differences between the store and the Brizy Builder, because that is essentially the difference between any e-commerce store. For those of you coming from WordPress, you will know WooCommerce very well. There are a few others, but WooCommerce definitely trumps them all. And what you're going to see with the WooCommerce, or what you have with WooCommerce, is you have your archive pages, you have your categories, all of that you're going to see and feel very familiar. This is what is happening here. If I click on any of these products, it takes me into a single product. And again, this is something that you expect from a store. There's a little bit of a styling issue here that we can fix very soon. But this is what you expect. You expect your product images here, and you expect a gallery of images that you can showcase. And in this case, you have sizes. Now, I guess those are shoe sizes, but maybe you get different diameters for the different angle grinders that exist. And then once you add them, you're going to have your checkout. And all of this that you've seen, I didn't create. This is all coming straight out of the box with the starter template. And I've just changed the currency a little bit here. I set up the region for my shop. And this is absolutely a magnificent way to get a website quickly up and running. Starter template ready to go. I just want to jump quickly. Where are we here? This is our products. Let's just quickly go to our website. So this is Brizy Cloud. And if you want to know more about Brizy shops, you will find it here under Cloud Shops. And this is at brizy.io. Simply click on that, and then you can go through all the features that comes with Brizy shops and how it integrates with Brizy Cloud. And at this point, let's quickly talk about where Brizy shops come from. Now, Brizy shops is actually based an integrated platform from a very well-known e-commerce site called Ecwid, ECWID, and they have been around for quite a while. They are very good at this. They have all the payment systems set up. They know how to work the taxes. All of these things have been integrated already for you. So all those questions that you often have when you try to create your own website and your own e-commerce site, they've already been streamlined here. And all we are doing is we are integrating it directly into our platform so that it works seamlessly with Brizy Cloud. You can build website very easy, very intuitively, the Brizy way. And at the same time, if you need to have a e-commerce, an online store, then you can bring that in as well. And there are the shops, and this is the FAQ that I mentioned to you earlier. So if you're an agency, if you're interested in white label, yes, all of this can be done for white labels as well. So if you have a big concern and you want to have, introduce your customers as a product on your platform, all of this is possible. And go to brizy.io, go check it out. Again, we will send you all the links. And when this is posted on social media, those links will also be available there. And this is what Brizy Shops is in a nutshell. Now, Ecwid, the system on which this is based, this is their pricing system, works independently. But what we do by integrating it is you don't have to pay them. You don't have to go to them. You don't have to touch their platform at all. I will say, though, that if you ever have a few questions and you want to know a little bit more about the function within the Brizy Shops Builder, you're more than welcome actually to visit their website because they explain the features very, very well there. And maybe we will touch on that also very briefly. Enough yakety yak. Let's go into our platform and show you how easy it is to build out and get your shop online in no time. For those of you familiar with Brizy Cloud, welcome to the Brizy Cloud dashboard. Now, this is at Brizy, our own platform in which we run our websites, which means that you don't have to care about hosting, you don't have to care about security. All this comes as a one package included for everything. And this is what makes this integration of Equid into Brizy shops so great, is that now you don't even have to go look for a shop's extension. You just buy a license, you add it here, and I'm going to show you soon how we're going to do that. Now, that site that I showed you earlier, this one over here, is actually this one that I've created here, and we're going to do the same thing. So let me just close these tabs before they drive me crazy. So what we do from the beginning is we're going to create a website, and we call it a project, and we're going to use these starter templates that are ready-made online e-stores for you to use and install. By using them, you actually create a trial. So even if you haven't signed up for Brizy Shops or you have bought a license for it, you can enjoy everything there is to enjoy about the integration with Brizy Shops by just using this trial that is valid for 14 days. Right, let's go and create a new project, and we go to website and landing page, and then all the way to the right, we click on start with a template. And this is going to give you hundreds of ready-made templates. Every sector you can think of is going to be here, and it's going to be available. You can search for it. However, if you're interested in shops, then you have to go to the new category that we've added here all the way to the right that says shop. Currently, I count 15 templates here. And when I mean template in this sense, I'm talking about a starter site, a demo site with all the goodies there. You can see there's one for pets, so snacks for the pets. And I shouldn't say this snack word too loudly, otherwise I'm going to have a lot of reaction on this side. This is the one we're going to be doing, the hardware. And then we have skincare, we have daycare, electronics. Oh, I like this one a lot. I just love the colors of this one over here for the pasta and all the nice ingredients for your food. You have clothing, all of these sites. And if you see one that tickles your fancy, all you need to do is go ahead and click on preview design, and it will show you the site. You can browse through it. And the great thing about these sites is not only are they ready-made, they are also responsive, which means they will just look grand also on a tablet and mobile device. Now, once you have selected the one that you want to use, and before I continue, there are 15, but this is very important. This is a very proactive part that we play with users. If you see that you are in the industry and you have a lot of clients in a specific field, you're more than welcome to reach out to the support team and say, I really need car wash. Oh no, car wash, I don't think you can do an online e-store. But let's say you are doing home baking, or you are doing upholstery and you want to put your online e-store for that. Talk to us. Let's see what we can do. The sky is the limit, so they say. Right. So once you've decided on the site that you want to use, you can go here and click on start with this design. This is the Brizy Cloud one-click installation. What it's going to do, and I'm going to click on it already because this will take some time. These starter sites, the normal starter sites, come with your homepage, about us, services, and contact us page, and they load instantly, no problem, because those sites, don't carry that much data in terms of images and products. But the moment we get to the shop site, as you can see, it's going to take a little bit longer. And this is just because it's loading all the products that you have seen in the demo. Those products have been created, they are there. It's loading all the templates. So your category page, your cart pages, and all of your checkout, all of that is being loaded. And that's why it's going to take a tad longer. But the moment I see that, I can breathe again, because when it comes to webinars, I always talk about the internet gods. They decide how a webinar shall go or shan't go. And there we go. You can time. If we can rewind this, probably takes about a minute. That is for the shop installation. If it's just a normal site, it's going to be much easier than this. But the shops, they will take anything from 30 seconds to 1 minute to install. And there you go. But before we continue, I want to highlight what I said at the beginning, that this is actually now a trial. I've installed this site. It's a blueprint of what you just saw. It's a copy for copy, the one that I showed you earlier. So we have the shop, we have the featured products over here, all of this exactly the same, but this is a trial. So if you have a license, you have to activate the license. But if you just want to try the trial, you are more than welcome. It's a 14-day trial. How do I know it's a trial? So let's go to our platform CMS dashboard by clicking here on this icon here in the top left corner. And from the navigation sidebar on the left, you will see that we have all these settings here. There's actually just one page for this entire site in terms of a static page, and that is the home page. Down here is where all the shop functions are and your products, etc. As well, when you go to project settings, you will find another tab there. But let's click here on products, and this is going to load all the products that we have pre-installed with this, which is great. It gives you that idea of how it looks. And from here, you can also just go ahead and duplicate them, and we'll look very soon at how that is done. What I'm interested in is to show you this bar here in the bottom that said shop trial ends in 14 days. Subscribe now to enjoy all features, get shop add-on. If you are interested in getting a license after you have played around with it, you can click here. This is going to give you this pop-up, and it's going to take you to the pricing section at Brizy, and you can select a package that works for you. You can go for monthly, you can go for annually, and each of them, there's a few differences that you have to go and check out very carefully. If you need more products, if you want to do subscriptions, for example, you will see under the business package, you can sell on marketplaces, you have subscriptions. There's multilingual store if that is something that you're interested in, but also filters. It's something that is very nice once we get to an advanced, and we'll cover that in a future tutorial. So that is if you're working with the trial. But in my case, I already have a license. And to activate the license, we don't do it from here. We actually have to exit first. So yeah, it's a step that you have to take, but I'll show you this very quickly. In the bottom left-hand corner, select this icon, and then we click on Go to Dashboard. And now I'm back at my platform dashboard. And you can see that we have created this new one, and it says project number 7. So I will call this webinar demo. And just show here in the top left-hand corner of this project, there's this little label. It says Pro, it's a Pro license, and you see that little card. If I compare it with this one over here, no card, has card. Now, this card means that you have a license activated, but you and I both know we never activated a license. Actually, this is the trial license that has been activated. So we need to deactivate that, and then we have to activate your business license or one of the licenses you have bought. I'll show you very quickly how to do that. At this point, I think also, again, just want to tell you, if you anything I say here you don't get, go to the YouTube channel. We cover this in far more detail. We take it a little bit slower to make sure you can really get the hang of how Brizy shops work. New videos are being released because this is a brand new spanking baby product right out of the shower. Don't know what that means. Let's go here. And the first thing we have to do is click on Deactivate Shop. Don't worry, you're not losing anything. Click on Deactivate Shop. And this is removing now the trial. You can see currently on shop free, it said there at the top. Now I'll have to go back and I'll have to click on Activate Shop. I have this drop down button. Please select a plan to activate. And then from here, these are the 3 plans that we have. We have Venture, which is your entry level, then the business one, which I think is the one that's going to be most useful in most cases, and then Shop Unlimited for those ones that have the unlimited need. You can see here that it says licenses used, and it says 2/5. That means I have bought 5 licenses. And out of those 5, I have already activated 2. I'll click on it, and now I'll just click here on Activate Shop. Actually, I'm spending too much time on this. I want to show you how you can get your website up and running very quickly by using a starter template. So let's click again on Edit Project. So all I've done now, I've installed the starter template, I've activated the license, and now we are back here. Let's just quickly have a look again. at what this means in terms of what has come preloaded. Go to the top left-hand corner, select CMS, which is your content management system, and all your settings appear here. I only have one page, and if you know the Brizy Builder, you can add new pages, you can create your blogs, you can add stories, pop-ups. Oh, excellent pop-up builder. And then we go to shops. Here we have our products. You saw this earlier. The difference now is that the limitation of the trial has been removed. We have our categories that you also will have for your products, and then there are templates. Let me just go to products. Oh, templates. And the templates are those archival pages and those standard set of pages that you will need to use for your shop. And it comes with these, and we will look as we get feedback as to should we add more and what needs to be added more. So this is also something that can be more expanded in the future. You have your cart, you have your account, your product templates, your category templates, favorites, and your shop filters. This, though, connects here at the bottom with project settings. So if I click on project settings, it takes me into my website overall settings. And by default, it opens the site. This is where I put on my SEO. I can do translation, and I have my system pages. Now you have the shop tab right next to site, and this will give you all your settings in terms of the management and organization of your store. This part that you see here that we're going to have a look at very soon is done actually Equid. This is all run by them. If you ever use their platform, you will say, oh, that looks familiar. Oh, yeah, I understand that. That's how it works. But all of this, and if we have a look here at the top, we have import and export of products. We have how you set up your payments. You have legal parts, shipping, taxes, invoices, templates, notifications, and then also filters. And way too much to even cover in 5 webinars. And a lot of this, depending on the size of your store, you may never use. So that's why we will start with this big overview, and then we will narrow it down in future webinars and tutorials so that you can really hone in on those things that are applicable to you and that you will need for your shop and for your business and for your clients. Right, so we did that. But before we look at all of these settings, I want to jump back to the home page that comes preloaded and talk a little bit about how your shop is integrating with Brizy Cloud. Now, Brizy Cloud, oh, just an amazing website builder. You know, the Brizy Builder is still my favorite in terms of how easy it is to do things right on the page. I just looked at this column here and I select it and everything is here. I can make changes to it. I can create an overlay. All of this just on the page. No need to deep dive into all of the settings. And why we brought in the shop is that we had many people who were using Brizy Cloud say, hey, we really want to run a shop, but we would like it if it can be done the Brizy way. You know, we don't want to learn something new. It took quite some time, but it is now here and it is done the Brizy way. So what do we mean by that? I'll create a new section here. And the section in Brizy is called the block, and I'll say create your own. And then click on the plus in the middle. Opens the sidebar where all the elements are housed. And now, once you activate shop, you will see that we have this section here for the elements that pertain to shop. Depending on the template you are using, these elements may change. So if you have a cart template, you will find that when you go in here, it's going to look a little bit different. But your over and all powerful element is going to be this one here, products. And that will give you this feature over here. And I'm going to show you also a little trick that I use how to fix this spacing issue here. Because for me, coming from a graphic design background, sometimes it drives me absolutely against the walls if things don't align the way I want them to align. That space there just drives me nuts. But I'll show you how you can go ahead and fix that. Let's drag in this element, shop products, onto my home page. And this filter and this element that is all incorporated here is going to allow you to create, specific sections, product features, sales, you name it, right on any static page, whether it is your home page, whether it's an About Us page, or any other page you can think of, a landing page that you are using to promote, you'll be able to do it anywhere. This is a very powerful element, and it takes some time to deep dive and understand. And I'm going to show you some things that's going to be, way, take it a little bit slower there. Now, how this works is that you go first to the settings of the element in the top right corner. And this is where you will get your products in terms of how many columns and how many rows, if you need more than one row. And if you have quite a number and you want to add some pagination, then that is also done. We have spacing here. If you add more spacing, you can see how nicely they load there. You can bring in a little bit of spacing. And what we always strive for at Brizy is to make this as intuitive possible. My philosophy is, especially when it comes to shops, is not to try to go too far to the left in terms of trying to do something that people are not used to. Recently, I was at actually a function where I spoke to people about shops, and I was shocked to hear from everyday people how often they abandon their online shopping because it becomes too complicated or they don't know what's going on. And this is where familiarity is very important. So I always tell people, don't try and do something fancier. Keep it as simple as possible. People are not impressed by how your products are arranged. They are impressed by your products. Of course, you can overdo it and it can look really bad, but this to me, out of the box, I would almost not touch it. Let's look at the filter, because this is where things become very important. You have your source and you can choose from the categories that you've created. So if I select category, you can select from here and you can add them manually. You can also go to related products and then you can set them all on manual, but I'm going to put them on auto. You have your offset here. So if you have a product page and you want to bring in this element, and what did I just do now? Let me just put it on all and load them again. If you have a single product page and you want to have this at the bottom and offset, you got that. You have order by ID, and then you have, of course, ascending and descending, and then your navigation over here, which is the pagination I mentioned earlier, if you need pagination. And that's kind of it. How these elements work within Brizy is, you will note as I hover over the products, there's a blue bounding box. Whatever I do to any of these products in terms of styling and content within any blue box is going to affect all of them, because you need to keep it consistent. And this is where Brizy just absolutely shines. So if I click on this image, and this image is dynamic, right? I didn't place this image here, it got it from my shop. If I want to apply an overlay here, and these are my color swatches, a little bit boring. Let's go for something red over here, and I add a little bit. You can see it's being applied across board. And that is what we mean, that you only need to style one of them. It's going to apply to all of them because they are dynamic. You do not want to do these on a one-by-one basis. But understand the implication of this is that everything that I can do with a normal image element on my page, I can do here. I'm not limited just to a card or to a little box. I got full control over this. So if I wanted to reshape this image and then I want to align it, just go wild, add, overlay, or I can even add a shape to it if I'm not mistaken, a mask. I'm going off script here, but I just want to show you I'm sometimes so really thrilled by it. Yes, there's a mask that you can add to it, but it's good to know. That's how it works. The same for the text. Here I have text, and then I can go ahead and do the styling. So if I change the font size, you will see all of them will update. And I can change the color. Let's make this red. It will change for all of them. I'll just put it back on black, and that's how it works. You are not limited to these three. Now, if we go back to add elements, you will see that we have categories, add, and we have price. So if I want to add a price here, I can click, hold, and drag and drop it there. And there is my price, again, with all the settings. But now I want to show you one other feature within Brizy that many people are often like, oh, I didn't know that is there. So let me show you that is there. And this will apply to anything with text and anything with images. And we're going to look at text. This gives you a little bit more styling. I'll go to the sidebar, add elements, go to my text element and drag in the text element. Select the text element, go to the T for typography, and then from the pop-up, you just select these three disks. And this is dynamic text. Can be used on blogs. It depends on where you are using it and which context it will give you the dynamic data. For us, this is where we go to custom text. And I just want to show you As you start scrolling down here, you're going to see a plethora. So here is compared to price formatted. All of these will be set in the back end with the products, and then you can decide if you want to independently display them here. And you can display them also inline. So if I wanted to add my SKU here for whatever reason, I can add the SKU here. And the fact that there isn't an element for it on the shop doesn't limit you to it. You still have the text element for it, and you just go ahead and use this, right? That's super groovy. I love it. So all the things you can think of, they are here. And that is the one way that you can do it. I wonder if I should show you another way. Let me quickly try one more. I hope it doesn't backfire. Highlight all the text and type a hash. And the moment you type a hash, it's going to give you, again, those dynamic text. So I can go to price, and now you see it changes a little bit the formatting, but now everything stays in line. So if I hit hash again, I can go to, let's say, default display or cost price. So if I had different prices here, I could add them next to each other. It's going to give me that as a placeholder. But the great thing about this is that I can also style them independently. So if I wanted to, I can just go, let me go in front of this one. I can add a return enter. And because I've done that, I can go to this and I can say the cost price we've broken down. And then I can just go ahead and select these two as well and align them to the middle. And then add a little gap below. And again, just know that I'm not diving into sidebars and stuff like that. This is all happening on the page. What a powerful element. And then just remember, if this is too many products displayed for you, you go back to this and you just reduce your columns and your rows, and you're back to basically where we started. Really, really awesome. I mentioned a little tip I wanted to show you here at the top. Nothing to do with shops, but just to show you how you can get around this kind of feature where you have a title that runs into two lines and another one that's just one line. My workaround works perfectly. This is actually the blue bar you see here is actually not a column. Yeah, it's a column. It is within the element. But if we go to add elements, I'll grab my column and I'll drag it in here into that one. You will see that it creates two columns next to each other and they are blue. Delete any one of them. I right click and let me just do that again. Oh, there we go. And click on delete. Did it delete? Let me try again. Delete. There we go. So I have my one column. And what I do is I drag the image in there, and you will see as I'm dragging it for this specific one, it does it for all of them. I'll also drag in my text, and then I'll drag in the price. Then I go to the cart of the entire product up here, and I'll go to settings. And then we have the content alignment and choose all the one to the right. And the moment I do that, they're all nicely aligned. So that the fact that this one, the padding, add some padding. So I should have done that first. I'll just lock all of that and reduce the padding. Now, because of that, that space is added and my bar appears here at the bottom. Right, so that's one way that you can solve that issue by adding a column. And if you need more, you add more columns in it. Good. Let me just quickly jump back here and have a look at our comments so far. Hope you are still all here. Will you talk a little bit about the big difference between the two lower price points, Venture and Biz? Okay, we'll have a look at that. Where is the search element defined for specific products? This is awesome. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Thank you very much. Now, if we go about Brizy Academy for courses, is that in all places? Yes, and I'm your Academy master. Yes, Brizy Academy, we work, I think our goal has always been to bring our products and make it accessible to everyone, even if you have no knowledge. That's where I started many, many, many years ago, and you have to suffer online to get all these answers. If you have a Shopify site, can you transfer it to Brizy? You will have to migrate it, yeah, but I think just click and transfer, it's not going to happen. But While we're on this, I'm logging all these questions. And like I said, we have some people in the chat room there. Maybe they can also jump in if there are any of these questions that can be answered now, but we will definitely cover them all. If you have arrived only now, very welcome. And we are doing well. We're halfway through this. We're just running another 20 plus minutes. So for those of you who have booked the hour for this session, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. But let's get back to what we have here and look a little bit deeper into what is going on now with our products. And that is done in the back end. Right. So I think this is always a mind shift for those who know WooCommerce and Shopify. All of this, you will know sometimes this gets a little bit confusing as to where am I now and why am I there? Why I can't do it here? What I'm showing you here is the so-called static page. This is the page that comprises your home page or your About Us page or a landing page that you are created. But now you have to go and set up your products. And this doesn't happen here. This all happens within the platform and the dashboard of the website. Up to the left-hand corner we go. Top left-hand corner we go. And we go to shop. And this is our product. So let's look at these products in a little bit more in depth. The reason I like the starter template, and when we talked about what's going to be the first webinar we're going to do for this, I told Veronica, let's go for a template, because for me, the best way to get to grips as to what is going on here is a template. It will really help you understand this. The development team and the design team, they did a terrific job in getting these ready so that everything is covered and you just can go and swap everything out. And that is what you saw that we did just now. You can go to the front. Let me just quickly do that again. What we have here, you're going to change the images, you're going to change the text on the different sections. You can change the brand colors. So if I go here and I don't like this, I want to make all of this a little bit brighter. Look at that. Boy, just one slider and everything sparkles. That's what I love. And that is all happening on that side. But now we come here where you have to actually add the products. And what I like is they're already products. All you need to do, this is what I will do in a short bit, is to duplicate one of them and then just swap out all the information. But let's have a look at what's going in and on here. Vortex X 20 volt cordless reciprocating saw. I do a little bit of woodwork. I try to do a little bit of woodwork. And this was actually very interesting to me to see the products here, and they are even correctly labeled and they're very well described. So I guess we need to thank AI a little bit for that. This is how the product looks, and everything about the product that you need, you're going to find here. You can add videos, you can add images, you can do discounts, you can create coupons for products. Like, it's really an amazing, tool that has been integrated. Before we look at this, there are a few things up here like taxes that I just want to point out that it's best not to touch some of these things here, but to go into the project settings. And that is here in the bottom left-hand corner and do it on a global scale. So you may get caught up at the beginning in starting to add products, and then you start filling out each of these one by one. It's better you first go to project settings and set some of those things up there. If you're running something small and it's local, you're not going to be concerned too much about all of that technical stuff like taxes, etc. But these functions are very important. The bigger your store, the wider your store, the bigger the reach. So you do need to pay attention to this. We will roll out more videos to explain all of the smaller parts. And then, of course, you can also visit the Equid store. But let's have a look here. It starts at the top with your product gallery with all the images here. And I mentioned you can add a video. Then you have your name, your SKU, the weight. You have description here. And I think I just want to correct myself at this moment. We see here, weight is in pounds. Now, where I am, we don't use this. So I'm going to show you very soon how we can change all of this. You can change your currency, you can change your region, you can change this kind of stuff like your dimensions, but we will do that on a global scale. We're not going to do it here on an individual scale. You can manage your categories here, create new categories and add it here. Then we have attributes. So if you have like sizes, if you have different colors, you are going to be adding your attributes over here. Under options, oh no, this is attributes. Okay, it's your styling, and then under options, this is where you're going to add all of those different variants and as well as variations. You even have this thing for a customer input field if there's something that the customer has to add. Files that can be downloaded, shipping and tracking, taxes, and then an SEO section just for this. So already we've added an SEO section here. So you have a page title and with a meta description. This gives you that control, which is super important. And of course, your image will come from this general one that you set here with the first one. You can see you can just drag them around as well. Boy, very nice. Every time you make a change, this little banner is going to pop up here and it's going to ask you to save. And in many cases, you won't be able to continue to the next section or the next attribute or field here if you haven't saved. So learn the shortcut key. It's going to come in very handy. Command S, Control S. You have related products and buy now. Wow, so much that you can do here. Here you set the price, managing options here. You can put bulk discount, enable pay what you want pricing, and then sell as a subscription. Now, I saw in the questions that we were talking about the lower tiers. So these are important ones. And I think we should maybe try and make another one where we can really talk about, another webinar where we can talk about all the different subscription models and platforms or plans that you get from the different tiers. You have your product availability, it's enabled, your stock, and then your preview product. This is when we click here, it's going to show us the front end of this product. Go back to all products. Let's add one. And I create, so with this, you have your individual template and then you have duplicate here. So I will go ahead and click on duplicate. And this is going to create a new product for us. And I can't remember which product I created. It is a drill, but I'm not now sure what kind of drill this is. We'll figure it out soon. And then it creates the same one here. And the first one I'm going to do is change the name. I'm just going to call mine demo product. Otherwise, I will get lost. And we give it another SKU number. And we can change the setting here, a description, a new description. And thanks all. And then we change this to something like 220 US dollars. Currently, it will load by default to the region of US as well as the dollar. So these are things that when you use a starter template, you will go and change them. And then you go through all of that. And this is the great part about any of this. Once you have set up all these for just one of your products, all you need to do for the rest is copy and then add all of this additional information. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to say Control S, and then we click on Preview Product. Preview Product. Oh, this opens up in here. And there we go. Okay, so the images we have to change, but we can see it's called the demo product. There are those sizes that do not make sense. And it's just a pity that we cannot go back to all products with a back key. That is something that we can work at putting back. So there is our demo product. Let's click again on it to access it. Right, so let's change the images and see how easy or how difficult that is. So let's click on Upload Images. And I'll go to my downloads and I will upload these 3 images. And I need to show you, I was using AI today to create this adherence of images. So adherence is when you have one image and the AI creates another image and it makes it exactly the same. Now these drills, which I use, and I'll show you again, this thing can fit into your hand. It's the size of your hand, more or less, a little bit bigger. But it's definitely not that big, right? This is overcompensation in so many ways, but I'm really impressed with it. This guy probably worked on the Titanic. I hope the second one went better. But now we've added the images. Let's go ahead and delete these guys, removed. And we remove this and we remove this. And we drag this there. And let's say Control S. And there are our images. And then let's preview our product just to see if those images. And the fact that we're using the Effortless system, look at that. You should not worry about it. Now, this is just how it is displaying as a preview for you. Of course, how it's going to look on the front is determined by your template pages, the pages for your products and your categories. And we will be talking about that now. So now that I've created this project, a product under all products, How this will display on the front end is determined by the template. And that template, if you look here at the bottom, it says you can change the template, and I'll click on this, stay on page, and I'll click on leave page. I have a little StreamYard thingy here, edit product template. Now this product template is applying the template to all of our products. And again, now that I've entered the product template, if I go to add elements, you will see under shop, we have 5 elements this time. And depending on the template you are working with, these elements will change, right? They are related to that. And this is how it's going to look. To make changes here is again a breeze. Now, the first thing that you can do is go up here to the settings of this, and then we go all the way to the left, and you can select display and all of the fields. So if I want to remove the options, right, then I can remove the options. You saw the options removed there. If I wanted to add SKU, I can add that. And then we have our product, and you can choose here columns, 2 columns on the left, and then your pricing and your information is on the left. I like to keep it the way people are prepared or ready to see it by putting it on the right. Right, so our time is catching up with us, so I quickly want to show you styling here. Everything you see here, just click on it, and there are the options. So for this one where the text didn't come out right, I'll just put the text on white, and there's my hover option. So if I hover, I can make the background, let's make it red again so it looks a little bit different. Put it back on default, and look at that. And all of this, depending on what you are using, you click on it and you make changes. Oh, nice. Look at that. Even the style. I get very excited when I see things that work so well. Look at that. Very, very nice. And that's all done with this single element, which is our products element in the template. Important. The changes I make here are going to reflect all of my single products. So when I hit update in the bottom right hand corner, I am going to be making this change to the template. We go back into the CMS dashboard and we go back to products. That is this template here, edit product template. There may be a case that you have one product that you want to have a different template for. And then you go here under actions and you can click on edit individual template. And it's only going to apply to that product. Amazing. While we are on the topic of templates, let's also look at the other templates. And these are your standard templates that come with your shopping experience from your cart to your checkout. And if you have the business as well as the unlimited plan, you also get shop filters, something we'll cover in the future. But I'll quickly look at cart. And just to show you again those changes. So I'll click on edit page. And it's just going to load as we are making all these changes here. And there we go. So this is my shopping cart. Again, we go to the elements sidebar on the left, and you will see this time we have an element called cart and checkout. And that is what appears over here. We have the other guys like products because you want to build out a section below this. We have this one down here that is a FAQ that you can add to it. But let's say you wanted to add similar products or did you forget to add this product? You know, that's a very standard thing on the checkout page. Hey, did you forget this? Or a special that you are running for these 3 products, you can add them here or put them at the top. And because this is a template, it will display on every checkout page, just like I showed you before. If you want to make changes here, you just click on it. You can go ahead and make changes. You can update the fonts. But in this case, what I will do is not mess around with the fonts here. If I'm here on my checkout page, what I will do in this regard is I will go to the global styling on the left and I will create a new typography set. If you've never done this, hold on, let me show you. I will click here on add new and it creates a new one at the top and it gives it a number 10, and I will call this checkout headings. And then once I've created this, I'll go back and I'll click on shopping cart, go to T for typography, and I'll scroll to the bottom and select checkout headings, and you'll see it changes. That is the default of the new one, but now we're going to change it. We go back to checkout headings, click on it, and it's on space grotesque. This is the one that we are using. And now I can go ahead and increase the size here. Let's put it on bold, reduce the letter spacing. And the great thing about this is now that I've done it this way, if I go to checkout, I go to T for typography, scroll to the bottom and I say, let's do it again. T for typography, and I put it on checkout headings, it's going to be the same. The only thing I need to do is also change that color. That means that if I realize, or my customer tells me later on, hey, we don't like that the letters are so close together, make it a little bit wider, I can go back to my global styling and only make changes here, and it will affect everywhere I have applied this. And do not forget what is very important while we are here. I mentioned it at the beginning. Responsive. That means that when you go to your tablet view, yeah, looking good. And as well for our mobile, oh, that looks just beautiful. Everything is done so well. And you can also change the responsive views here in the sidebar on the left by selecting desktop, tablet, and mobile. Again, settings, you access the element over here in the top right hand corner, and you have your cart, and you have the different ones like your address, shipping, and payment, and you have more functions over here. And that will be the template. Right, now that we've done that, we're 10 minutes away. I'm not checking the clock, but I want to show you at least what's going on in the project settings in terms of regional settings, and then also maybe, how you can change the currency. Let's jump into our content management system to the bottom, project settings, and this gives us all our site, and then next to it, click on shop. It's going to load the shop functions. We had a look at this a little bit earlier. This is where you have to spend a little bit time when you set up your shop the first time, and you will find it's jam-packed. Now, one of the benefits and why WooCommerce is so popular when it comes to WordPress is because at its basic entry level, WooCommerce is free. But WooCommerce comes with an astounding amount of bells and whistles. But you and I know that if you've ever done that, this becomes premium. And there are so many third-party developers out there that have add-ons for that. Some make it really easy and great to work with WooCommerce. The difference, once you come to Brizy Shops, is that everything is included. That comes with the pricing. So your social integration, how you are going to be sharing this, how it's going to work in terms of looks and labels and all kinds of specials and discounts and notifications. This is all included here. So this is a very comprehensive section. And like I said, you need to spend some time here. Start with general. And as you scroll down, you're going to see company address. This is your address. And that's where you will probably make your first change, just to get things feeling better. So depending on where you are, whether you are in Tuvalu, Uganda, or Switzerland, yes, you are going to choose your country. I will choose South Africa, and everything will just update very quickly. It's going to give you this one here, this little notification here about the payment. And payment, very, very important. And again, this is where Ecwid had done all the heavy lifting for us, is that for the majority of the world, there are payment gateways. A payment gateway is the way you are going to be collecting the money from people online. How are they going to pay you, and how is that cash going to get into your bank? I need to also give my province, so I'll select here Western Cape, and then I'll add my postal code here, and all the rate goes away and everybody's happy. Just remember the save control S or command S there at the top. That is what you do here. You add your company name, your email address, just get this all right, and you can add your social media accounts here. Groovy. You have functions here for your import and export. If you already have products and you're working with a big store and you are constantly updating them, this is the place you're going to be do that. But I'm jumping ahead now. Under general, actually, these tabs here are very important. I've skipped them now. The next one is regional settings. And everyone, except for you guys in the US, you're going to make changes here. So the currency we have is the rand. And I wonder if I type it, no, it's not going to make, I'll have to go search for it. So we look for South Africa there, South Africa rand. And one of the things they will say here is that if you have gift cards, you have to go and check your currency, right? Just make sure that works. Your display format, you can set it up here. And here is an indication of how it's going to look. So you can change the prefix, the suffix, do you want a full stop, a period there, or do you want a comma there? Below that is the weight and size. And again, I'm going to be working in kilograms and I'm going to be working in centimeters. And I'll just set these up always because you never know where they're going to pop up. And then the last one, you have language settings here. And again, this is also tied to the plan that you are using. If you have a business or an unlimited, you can create multilingual. And of course, Brizy can handle the translations. You will see that up here. Where am I? Is it here? It's under site that we have translations. So the date and time, this one catches me a little bit. I couldn't find one applicable to me, but we are GMT plus two. What is important is you sometimes have to just choose one, a country that you know either uses or doesn't uses daylight savings time. So for example, where I'm from, we don't have daylight savings time. It's a foreign concept to us. So I need to choose something in Africa closer to where I am so that I know at least when that shift happens, it's not going to affect us. So Maseru is perfect for me. That's in Lesotho. Oh, interesting to have that. And then you have your time display and your date display. Good. And then again, before you can go anywhere, you have to save Control S. And so many other things here. We can quickly look just at payments because I think this one is very important. How will you collect your money? Number one way is Stripe. If you have Stripe, if you are in a country that has Stripe, easy one for you. PayPal, okay, PayPal takes quite a punch out of your earnings. That's one thing everybody knows. So if you have no option, you go for PayPal. But if you can, you go for your payment method. And depending on which country you have set your store to, you will see payment methods here. And I was thinking, this is going to be limited. But boy, just in my country, wowee. And this one here, for example, Pay Fast and Pay Gate. I know they are local ones that work very well. So once I select them, it's going to take me into the settings. Of course, for these payment gateways, you are going to subscribe to them within your local region. And all you need to do here is come and add that details, and it works flawlessly. It's integrated with Egward, and your payment system is set up in no-go. Few other tabs here is legal. You can add your policies over here. Then you have shipping information. If you have that, if you are selling physical goods, and you have your taxes, that is done automatically depending on where you are and whether you have to file taxes. Very important one is this invoice. It generates an invoice for you, and you can also upload your own logo and create it. You have the templates. We looked at the templates, how you can do that. Something that still needs a lot of deep diving. You see, I'm just skimming over this. And then notifications as people make a sale or as they make a purchase. And one of the things I'm suddenly thinking off the top of my head is abandoned carts. That's also a feature included in the business and ultimate packages. And the last one over here, filters. Ooh, filters, very cool. I will show you that in a future tutorial because this takes a whole tutorial all by itself. Wow, what a mouthful. So let me jump back here. And I think, as we come to the end, we can see if we are going to have a few questions that I can answer here. Let's see, are we getting a replay? Yes, Fawn, we're definitely getting a replay. That is one question I can answer with confidence. If all goes well and we enter August the 1st with everything going well, you will get a replay after this webinar. An email will be sent out to you with all the links that I've mentioned, and you can go through that again. And this will also be posted on social media. Will all the settings transfer over if we move from Equid to British shops? Now, this is a very good question. I'm not so sure how that will work, okay? But this is something that we can follow up with the support team. From the top of my head, my answer is going to be no. But what do I know? It is best that we ask them if something like that is possible. We are integrated with Equid, but we run truly completely independent. If you are interested in what I've shown you here and you would like to speak to, especially from agencies and white label, you want to know more about that, you can contact us at our support. And that's a very support at brizy.io. They are more than happy to help you. Scaling whatever your needs are. Like I said at the beginning, a lot of the stuff that we've done recently is based on feedback from partners in their businesses, some things that they use. The whole point that we've got Brizy shops is because of that feedback. So that it is good for us. True. Again, okay, this looks like Equid product. It's that. It's absolutely that. The only difference is that we've made it So easy to integrate this on your website designed in Brizy Cloud. So once you know Brizy Cloud, which of course we have hundreds of tutorials, and we are very happy to help with that as well. You can have your blogging, you have everything there, the Brizy way, plus perfect integration with that. FAQ might, it sounds like Brizy Academy would be available for us to sell. Oh no, Cheryl, not a bad idea. That's a very good idea. I'm thinking, I know the marketing team is watching and they're going to be like, work for JP. I just know it. This is a very good idea. I think, we've got your details. This is something we can talk about, something I haven't thought about, but really not a bad suggestion. We have an API payment integrated. Will that still work? Support question, definitely. API, if it's Equid compatible, I don't see why it shouldn't work, but we'll have to check that. And for those extra steps that we take, the support team, they are super with that. We've got the best support in the world. I can say that very, very confidently. I have one site that I'll use the business shop for, but one site I think I'll need venture for the time being. If I upgrade in a few months to business from venture, will it eliminate? Will it eliminate the intro pricing discount? If you buy the license now, your license will stay there. Yes, but if the intro pricing is still available at that time, answer is yes. But I think that one makes me think I'll say no. If the pricing isn't then, if you upgrade at that point, if you buy the license now, no problem. But of course, it's a monthly and annual license. But we can always talk about that, Cinda, something that can be discussed. And it has so many more things that you can customize. Absolutely. Um, I really think, for me, I've done a few shops for clients that I've worked with. And what I really like, you know, uh, from my background, I was Brizy WordPress only. Brizy Cloud was on the market. I was working for Brizy. I didn't touch Brizy Cloud for a year or two. And then one day we decided to make a few videos, and I said, like, man, this is awesome. Everything is here. And now with this integration for Brizy shops, it is just mind-blowingly convenient. Everything is there. You don't have to go to Equid. You don't have to set up your payment gateways by giving add-ons and extensions. Everything is there. Of course, like I mentioned, the downside or the upside for WooCommerce is you get that free entry, and a lot of people online are making add-ons that come with all these features. This is tried and true and tested, tried and true, and you can't go wrong. We had the custom use app they have integrated. Great. Thank you very much for the interaction, guys. I really appreciate that. And we have come to the end of our session. Just again, for you to remember that we have recorded this webinar. It will be available, and that there is a discount happening at this moment. You will receive an email after this video with a link of everything here. And we hope to see you at future webinars. And I hope to see you also over at YouTube. I really appreciate the fact that you've joined us. My voice is going. I've been working the whole day with videos, so a little bit of this. I'm having a cup of rooibos tea, which is very good for the antioxidants and all of that stuff. Jeanette, thank you. Cinda, thank you. Okay, everyone from Germany, Switzerland, and all of you guys over in the US. And for those of you who are heading to bed, sweet dreams. For those of you heading to work, have a good day ahead of you, and I'll see you in August 1st.